big book that they would put the person's name and how much they owed. And then when the person got their money, they would come back to the storekeeper and write, and the storekeeper would cross out the amount that they owed, and then they would be clear of their debt. As this was the very earliest form here of keeping records. Later on came the credit machine, which is very similar. If you know credit card that your parents use, right? Well, this is a credit machine, and this was done a little bit different, where everybody that came to the store would have a number. And then when they bought things that they couldn't pay for, the shopkeeper would write out what he needed on a slip of paper, the amount it cost, and then when the customer came back with money, the shopkeeper would go to his number and they would, deduct what he could pay at that time. So it's kind of the same thing as your parents have as a credit card. They go to the store, they give a plastic card to the salesperson, and she runs it through the machine, and your parents get a month or so to pay it off without interest, and then if they can't pay it off, then they add the interest. So it's generally the same idea, yes? Yes, it is. It's a real book. Now here is a cash register that came from the blacksmith shop of Finneycrock here in Alney. And as time went on again, they had a cash register. And this would ring up a sale, and the highest sale this could ring up is $9.99. So it showed you how, just a second, it'll show you how inexpensive things were a long time ago, that $10, if you spent $10, that was a lot of money. Now, have you had a question?
How do you find all these stuff?
How do you find it? I think a lot of things people kept through the years, handing it down from one generation to the next generation. And back in 1982, people in the Sandy Spring area started to bring their things to the Sandy Spring Bank basement. And that's where the museum first started, and they gathered all these artifacts. And then once they had enough money, there was a house that they bought called Tall Timbers. That was the first museum. And then back in 1997, this museum was built, and we were able to get all our artifacts into the museum from families that kept things all through the years. Okay? Now, in the general store, some things you could buy today. They're just shaped different, or they're, not as, less technology than technology today, but everybody needs a picture, so you could buy a picture today as you could a long time ago. Now here is an interesting object. Let me just show you a few things here, if I can just get close. Does anybody know what this is? What?
Those things where you put like a fruit in or something.
Well, not fruit, but how about cream from the cow? This is an old-fashioned butter churn. We have an even older one where it's got the little wood boards and a